Cora going and the other one going. I can get her, she's got a sea.
Good evening, everybody. It is 7 o'clock on Monday, September 18th, 2023, and we will call this meeting of the Sault Ste. Marie City Commission to order. Could we have a roll call, please?
Mayor Gary.
Here.
Commissioner Bauer.
Here.
Commissioner Baspis Rath.
Here.
Commissioner Habusta.
Here.
Commissioner Marble.
Here.
Commissioner Miller. Commissioner Rubenstein.
Here.
Commissioner Marble did reach out and say he wouldn't able to make it this evening. Or Miller, excuse me. M word. Commissioner Miller wasn't able to make it, so would anybody want to make a motion to excuse?
So moved. Support.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
He is excused. If everybody that can stand, will you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. All right, moving on to number 4, mayor comments. This morning we had the honor of attending the kickoff of the U.S. Coast Guard 9th District Cutter Roundup. It was started by a very enthusiastic CWO, Jeff Ritter, who is commander of the Buckthorn, which is stationed here in Sault Ste. Marie, and also U.S. Coast Guard 9th Fleet Rear Admiral Hickey. There are upwards of 250 Coast Guard men and women in our city this week, so please give them an enthusiastic Sioux welcome if you see them. The cutters are down on the waterfront and are great to see. You can see them from the window here. Thank you from City of Sault Ste. Marie to all the men and women of the U.S. Coast Guard. We will move on into item C, which is public comment. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to make any comments on any scheduled agenda items this evening? So anything that is scheduled. Seeing none, we'll move into item D, which is our consent agenda. Deputy City Manager Robin Troyer.
Thank you, Mayor. Under the consent agenda, 1, approval of the City Commission meeting minutes of September 5th, 2023. Item 2, acceptance of the Airport Advisory Board meeting minutes of August 10th, 2023. Item 3, acceptance of the Economic Development Corporation meeting minutes of August 8th. Item 4, acceptance of the Police and Fire Pension Board meeting minutes of July 19th. Item 5 is consideration of a Chippewa County early voting site agreement. Item 6 is consideration of bid award for the purchase of recycled material crushing. Item 7 is consideration of a bid award for the purchase of grader blades for the DPW for fiscal year 23-24. Item 8 is consideration of traffic control order 23-09 for ADA parking at the EUP Intermediate School District. Item 9 is consideration of Smart Zone Hot Desk Agreement with Eric Shellhammer. Item 10 is consideration for the Economic Development Corporation to apply for Michigan Works Workforce Development Partnership Grant. Item 11 is consideration of a resolution for the Michigan Lottery recognizing the Christopher Columbus Italian American Society as a nonprofit organization for the purpose of obtaining a charitable gaming license. And item 12 is approval of the consent agenda items as presented.
Thank you, Deputy City Manager. Would any commissioner like any item removed for individual consideration, or would you like anything further explained? Seeing none, Commissioner Bauer.
So move we pass tonight's consent agenda as presented.
Support.
Has been moved and supported to pass the consent agenda. Any questions or comments on any of the items? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Consent agenda passed unanimously. Thank you very much. Under E, special orders of business, City Manager Chapman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Up first for commission consideration is a request to approve a proclamation to, going blank here. A resolution to vacate the full length and width of the alley within Stowell's Addition Block 3 Within the agenda item is an aerial photo that shows you the attached area that we are looking to vacate. This is an old alleyway. There are some utility easements back there, so the vacation does retain utility access. This one is the standard vacation where we split down the middle, half go to the above property owners and half go to the below ones. The purpose for this one is to vacate the alleyway to allow property owners to grade the alley to assist them in getting rid of stormwater. Right now, because it's owned by the city, there's a lot of work that we'd have to do in coordination. Since it serves no actual purpose for the city, we thought it'd be easier to just vacate it and give it to the property owners. So this item does have a public hearing tied to it first, and then we look for a motion to adopt the included resolution as presented.
All right, so we will first open a public hearing for consideration of the adoption of a resolution vacating the full length and width of the alley within Stoll's Addition, Block 3, with the retention of utility easements. Is there anybody in the audience that'd like to make any comments at this time? Again, public hearing for vacation of an alley within Stoll's Addition, Block 3. Seeing no comments, we will close the public hearing. City Commission, any questions, comments? Commissioner Habusta, would you like to make a motion?
Motion to adopt the included resolution vacating the full length and width of the alley within Stowell's Addition, Block 3, with the retention of utility easements.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any questions or comments on this item? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Moving on into F, Communications, City Manager Chapman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Up next is Superintendent Amy Kronemeyer, who would like to present some information regarding the school's bond proposal that will be on the ballot this fall. So if you want to come on up.
Good evening.
So I think, do I have to restate my name? It said that in the protocol. Amy Scott Kronemeyer, Superintendent, Sioux Area Public Schools. Want to make sure I'm following the rules. Yes, the Sioux Area Public Schools Board of Education has voted to place the $57 million bond proposal on the November 7 ballot. The purpose is to construct a new K through 4th grade elementary school on the middle school, high school campus, update Sioux Area High School and Career Center, and update and equip playgrounds and play field areas to be fully accessible. The bond proposal is designed to improve the educational environment for our youngest learners, improve operational efficiencies by reducing the number of buildings maintained by the school district, and improve security and response times to the main campus. Just to give you an overview, I think Manager Chapman has the concept for you to view this evening, so I can walk you through what that would look like.
You can see it on the one above you.
Okay.
Just tell me when you want, if I need to pause it.
No, we can just talk it through. So what you're seeing right now is if you were to approach where the new elementary school would be, coming off of Seymour and approaching the addition to the high school campus, which we are calling Legacy Hall. There's a purpose for that. May 1st is the 150th year of the land grant established by the federal government to establish Sioux schools. It was Sioux St. Marie schools at that time. You can see this is the entrance, what it would look like looking into the gym, walking through that area, and where is currently the closed pool would be placed into an auditorium hall. And also have a band room. We currently don't have a band room. It's in a music room where they have to lug the drums up and down stairs. So this would make a permanent band room for our arts program, and then a hall for any concerts. Also, it would be fully accessible. Currently, we do not have an elevator that would get our students with disabilities to the second floor. And so you can see what that would look like to the high school area. And as we move over, just a second. So that's the addition, the parking area, and then we would have secure drop-off and pickup for the elementary students, separating bus loops from parent drop-off, a two-story facility at the base of Minneapolis Woods, and 2 accessible playgrounds, separating our youngest students from the older elementary students and providing fully accessible play areas. The inside is a concept, so there is no full plans done yet, because those get done if the bond passes. Also, in there, it includes a gym facility separate from where students would eat, because currently in our elementary schools, where they eat is also where they do gym. And so in the long winter months, we cannot have indoor recess, so students have to have the recess in their classrooms. It also provides for space for 2 PE classes a week, art, STEM, and music, which right now those are occurring in the classroom. And each of the classrooms for the youngest learners would have accessible bathrooms. Currently, the bathrooms do not have a place to move wheelchairs and students with disabilities in and turn around, because the bathrooms don't meet today's code. The bond proposal would require a 2.55 mil increase over the 2023 tax rate. And I do have information on our website, as well as just informational material for you to take if you wanted to at the end of the day today. Just want to mention a couple things, not bond related, but I want to thank Chief Miller for our quick response for the incident that happened on Friday. We cannot thank the city enough, both SRO Adkins and Chief Miller and Chief Bierling, for their quick responses. It's super helpful. And also just, want to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Sioux Schools, which I think is pretty remarkable. So thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Amy. Anybody have any questions for Superintendent? Commissioner Hubusta.
Dr. Kronerman, there's a lot of information that is out via social media, and a lot of misinformation. Where can individuals go to get the best information, most accurate information about this bond proposal?
www.siouxschools.org.
Okay, perfect.
And
Thank
it's
you.
right on the front page. It says bond information.
Wonderful. Thank you.
There's also a calculator there if people would like to use their own tax bill to make an informed decision.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. All right, moving right along into item G, which is business items. City Manager Chapman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Up first for commission consideration is a request to award a bid to O'Connor's Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Inc. For the purchase of a new 2023 Ram 1500 Classic Tradesman truck. This item was bid out. We received 1 bid back. So we would look for a motion to approve the purchase as presented. The funds are currently budgeted for in the CIP.
Thank you. City Manager, any questions or comments on this item for the City Manager? Commissioner Bosbas-Rath.
Motion to award the bid from O'Connor's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Incorporated, Pickford, for the purchase of a new 2023 Ram 1500 Classic Tradesman truck for the purchase price of $41,965.
Support.
Been moved and supported. Any questions or comments? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passed unanimously. G, business items, number 2, City Manager Chapman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Up next for commission consideration is a request to purchase another truck. This item kind of stems off of the first one. So we bid out the purchase of Ram trucks. The bid award to O'Connor's Chrysler Dodge Jeep, who was the only bidder for the request, only had 1 on the lot, and according to them, Ram stopped making that particular truck midway through 2023. So staff found one sitting on a lot down in Alpena. So our request for you all is to purchase the truck. This would kind of fall under the bid from the first item, but since there was only one bid, we did a little bit of legwork to find another one. So the bid for this truck is actually a little bit less than the purchase that you just approved. The one before, the one in the last item was about 41,000. This one is 39,000. So the prices are very considerable, or very similar. So we would look for a motion to purchase the 1500 Classic Tradesman from McInery Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Alpena for $39,382.
Thank you, City Manager. Any questions or comments for the City Manager on this item? Commissioner Rubenstein, would you like to make that motion?
Motion to purchase a Ram 1500 Classic Tradesman from McInery Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Alpena for $39,382 delivered.
Support.
Been moved and supported. Any questions or comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed unanimously. G, business items, number 3, City Manager Chapman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Up next for commission consideration is a request to award a bid to Nelson Tank Engineering and Consulting Services for engineering and management services related to repainting the 4th Avenue Tower. So the city's supposed to repaint the water towers every number of years. It has been a bit of time since we've done 4th Avenue Tower previously. So we bid this out for engineering services related to this project. The low bid is Nelson Tank Engineering and Consulting. They do have some work history with the city as we've used them for some other projects as well. There is money budgeted for this project, this particular phase of it, if you will come out of the overall $685,000 project line. The consulting services fees for this one will be about $40,000. So just as a side note, with us repainting the water towers, there is an opportunity to maybe brand the water towers, put a logo on there, big smiley face, hot, cold, whatever you want on the water tower. So we are evaluating those kind of options, just as something fun to do with what's typically a very static kind of piece of infrastructure there. So there could be an opportunity for some public outreach in the future, but that'll kind of come at a later date. So getting back to the main item, we look for a motion to accept Nelson Tank Engineering and Consulting's proposal as presented.
Thanks, City Manager. Any questions or comments on this item? Commissioner Marvel.
Thank you. Motion to accept Nelson Tank Engineering and Consulting Incorporation proposal for consulting services.
Support.
Been moved and supported. Any questions, comments? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passed unanimously. Thank you very much. Under item G, business items, number 4, City Manager Chapman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Up next for the commission consideration is a request to award a contract to the sole bidder, Sailor Creek Contracting, in the amount of $225,000 to work on the Phase 2 construction redesign of the fire hall. The commission is aware that about several months ago, we put in about $250,000 from our ARPA funding for some construction work within our fire hall. The main reason for this project was to build out another bathroom, so there'd be 2 bathrooms, one for men, one for women, and to redesign the living quarters on the 2nd floor to incorporate a little bit more privacy. One of the bigger things that's kind of was spurring this project was our addition of a female firefighter, as well as more than likely more female firefighters in the future. So right now, the living quarters is just a big open space with no privacy at all, and there is 1 bathroom, and it's not really the best type of facility for our changing demographics within our fire department. So we had some engineering work done earlier this year. They put together the bid for the project. Like I said, there was 1 bid that came back for it. The project was overbid. We don't have any additional funds to kind of finish out the project, so In addition to awarding the bid, there's another motion with this item to approve change order number 1, which would reduce the scope of the project by $21,000 to get it within the funding range. So there was some add-ons with the project that the fire department wanted to kind of get a price on. As we anticipated, those prices were a little bit higher, and there wasn't a lot of extra money. So the contract and the change order that we're approving right now will ensure that 2 bathrooms are developed. The living quarters have barricades, a little bit more privacy in between the beds, and then some minor electrical HVAC kind of work. So 2 motions, motion to award the bid and a motion to approve the change order.
Thank you, City Manager. Anybody have any questions for City Manager or Chief of Fire Miller?
I think he said Chief of Fire Wood. Didn't he?
Seeing none, who would like to make this motion? We'll make Chief nervous a minute. Commissioner Hubusta.
Motion to approve the sole bidder, Sailor Creek Contracting LLC, a Michigan firm, in the base amount of $225,000.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any questions or comments? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passed unanimously.
Motion to
Commissioner Busta.
approve change order 001 to reduce the contract by $21,005 to total contract cost of $203,995 to match available funding.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any questions or comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Big smile on the fire chief's face. It's much needed. Item H, City Manager announcements and updates. City Manager Chapman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a couple things for the commission tonight. Just a reminder, 1 week from today, next Monday on the 25th at 5 p.m., we will be hosting a joint meeting with you wonderful people from Sioux, Michigan, and our partner commission with Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. So I got a couple items on the agenda. We're still going to try to pack in a couple more things. I'm not sure how long the meeting will go, just to be honest, so I can't give you a time frame, but we'll start at 5 p.m. here in the commission chambers. So keep that on your calendars. On December 4th, we have been invited to host a city commission meeting at LSSU in the library. This was something that the LSSU Foundation and one of their staff members kind of brought to our attention here. So it seems like it could work out. We may not be able to broadcast charter. We could probably do YouTube. They'll have the setups for us. So just at this time, just kind of looking for a nod from the commission that December 4th for a commission meeting at LSSU is something we want to move forward with. On our side of things, we just have to post that the meeting will be up at LSSU, the room, the time, location, and everything else will be pretty standard as commission meetings go. So are there any issues with December 4th, 7 p.m. at LSSU?
I can walk, then you'll have to drive. Yeah.
That sounds like an internal fight between LSSU. They offered up the library for us, so if there's no issues, we'll let them know. We'll let them know tomorrow that we're all set, and we'll put that on your calendars. We'll repost it and get everything set up for it. We'll probably have a couple of maybe guest speakers or something along those lines, updates from LSSU, whatever the case may be, just to make it a little bit longer meeting for you all. Stay till 10.
Perfect.
Okay. All right, and then last but not least, it's not on here. Just as a reminder, I will be out of the office October 13th through the 22nd. I'll be returning October 23rd. I will remind you that one more time during the next meeting, and then Deputy Manager will take my place for the third Monday of the meeting in October. She loves sitting in for me, so. Other than that, that is all I have at this time.
Anybody have anything for the city manager? All right, we'll move on into item I, which is matters presented by the public. Is there anybody that'd like to make any comments at this time? If you'd please come up to the microphone. Evening, Jill. Could you please state your name for the record? Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jill Rambo, and I guess I am the owner and operator of the Little Gift Shop on the 100th block of Portage. And unfortunately, on Tuesday, the September 12th, there was an elderly gentleman who tripped on the sidewalk. An ambulance was called. It was quite horrific, actually. He did not have a chance or opportunity to catch himself as he fell, and he sustained incredible injury to his body. And so I have pictures here for you. This is the sidewalk where he tripped. It's actually not that large, like it doesn't seem like it's a large space to miss, but at his age and his size, he did miss it. Unfortunately, so I'm gonna pass that around. This is just a small portion of the blood. This has already been wiped up by the responders that were there and the owners that we assisted him until the ambulance could get there. And then I was in contact with his wife later because she couldn't drive. He's the driver in their family. They were campers to our community. And so I reached out to her to see if she needed a ride or anything from the hospital, knowing that her vehicle was back on our block. And this is what she sent me. This is the gentleman. He has sustained, she said, obviously multiple stitches to his nose, a broken nose, 2 or 3 loose teeth, 1 pushed up into his jaw, and a fractured jaw. This is really unfortunate and extremely heart-wrenching to me. I've owned my store, I'm just going in almost to my 5th year. This is the 3rd time an ambulance has been called to my block. 2 times directly in front of my store in the exact same spot. Now this is a 2nd spot for the 3rd time. After speaking with someone in the other block where my new store is, they said that an ambulance was called to that block right in front of my store, and she showed me the spot. There's nothing done to alleviate that spot where the ambulance was called for that spot. And then one more, I've also heard of one other spot in front of the downtowner where an ambulance was called. That's with no research that I find that many times that an ambulance has been called due to someone tripping or falling on our city sidewalks. And I just feel like we could do better. Like we need to do better. So is it just like wait till somebody falls to try to fix them? Or, is there some type of scheduled maintenance, like where you actually evaluate the sidewalks to see which ones are in need of repair? Or how does that work? How do we go about that? And I know that's not really something you all will answer, but maybe it's something you could think about and find an answer to, because this is not acceptable, really. Is this what we want to have happen, to keep paying hospital bills or, having elderly people fall? One of the ladies that fell at my store, one of the first times, she had severe dementia, and she was so frightened, she couldn't even let the responders get near her, and she couldn't get up, so they had to help her, and so it was very mentally disturbing for her. And then because of her dementia and stuff, her husband actually declined services of the ambulance, but they did have to get her up. So I just wish that you would all look into this and see if we can't do something to make these sidewalks better. It's just not really, it's too much, too many times and just in my little time that I've had my shop. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Jill. Appreciate that, and thank you also for rendering assistance to the family.
We all did, actually, the 3 of us in our block, Lori and Sue Realism as well.
Thank you. That's great. Anybody else have any matters to present in front of the commission this evening? Good evening.
Yeah, my name is Mr. James Prue. I wonder if
Mr.
they're gonna
Prue.
do anything with them salt trucks. You know, we're supposed to look into that. My house shakes, the walls crack, and I've been hollering about it for 2 years now.
I believe you had a conversation with engineering, last commission meeting you were here. I'm not sure if we had anything particular at this time, but we will follow up with you tomorrow.
Why can't you, you know, bring them trucks down Spruce? You only got two blocks to go to turn on down in Seymour.
I would have to ask engineering off the top of my head. I just don't know. I'm not really, I don't have that kind of information in front of me right now to have that kind of conversation. So I know you had a conversation with engineering last commission meeting, but we'll reach out to you again tomorrow, and we'll even come to your house, and we'll
Please.
explain everything to you, and we can go from there.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Prue. Anybody else have anything? All right, seeing none, we'll move into item J, which is matters presented by the city commission. Any commissioners have any items to discuss, bring up? Commissioner Bosphus-Rath.
I just wanted to remind everyone that September 29th, Friday, is Orange Shirt Day, and that was established in the observance in 2013 as part of an effort to promote awareness and education of the residential school system and the impact it has on the indigenous communities. So on September 29th this year, if you have an orange shirt, wear your orange shirt. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Anybody else? Commissioner Bauer, would you like to?
Your Honor, I would like to move that we adjourn this meeting.
Support.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. We adjourn this meeting. All